Hey everybody, and welcome back to another day on the markets. And of course, the bulls are on the move. So we're going to talk about that. Pulsechain and Hex are rallying really strong. We've got pTGC doing great as always. And we're going to talk about Hydra, Inferno, and Flux. Flux just launched, of course, just only a few hours ago. So we're going to talk about that. That's built on top of Inferno. It's going to be a big deal. And of course, we're going to get into the results on that. And then, of course, Vault, it's coming up on the 28th. So we're going to talk about that all in the Titanx ecosystem in the second half of this show. So stay tuned for that. If you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell on the way in. And of course, you guys know I like a generally good fast-paced crypto show. So get in the chat there and say hello. We've got Wally in the house there. Hello. Good to see you, Wally. We're missing Lies Beneath today. I'm sure he may pop in later on unless he's got something else on, maybe. So we'll see how that goes. We got Brennan in the house there. Can you feel the heat from the buy and burn? I like that. Yeah, we've got plenty of burning in the background. We got Matt as well. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Matt. Good to see you as always. And, of course, both of them moderators. So nice to see the moderators are nice and early. Let's get into it, folks. We've got, what is it, Sunday in the United States, is it? Yeah, Monday here in good old New Zealand at the beginning of time itself. Midday. It is midday, and it is reasonably sunny outside, despite the fact the weather has been quite wintry wet, even though we're moving towards summer very fast. All right, let's get into it without further ado. Let's have a look at the markets. And bam, we got a crypto looking pretty good. Bitcoin up slightly, $63,650. Pretty good price, right? So that's up to slightly 0.2%. Bitcoin dominance at 55.47%. We've got Ethereum there down 1.38%, but still holding up pretty nicely, $2,583. We've got Solana there down 3.4%, $144. XRP is down almost 2%. Tron is pretty flat, just down slightly. ADA is down 2%. ADA, of course, always underperforming for some reason. There we go. BNB pretty flat today as well, 589. And those are our leaders at the moment. Litecoin showing a little bit of green shoots there too, up 2.4%. So that's pretty much the majors. So pretty flat day, isn't it? I mean, it is Sunday in the United States. It is a flat day. We normally expect that. But we are getting some action in Pulsechain and Titanx. So, it's kind of cool being in those systems. Yeah. Let's get into it on Bitcoin. We have avoided the death cross. Everybody say yay. Everybody say yay for that. We have bounced. Look at that. We bounced. We avoided the death cross, and we are back up on the ascendancy here. Fingers crossed. And we're almost through September, right? Rectember. We're almost through September. We've got a few more days to go, of course. It's the 23rd. We've got to go to the 30th. And we had our interest rate pivot. We have rallied off that. Really cool to see. So fingers crossed as we head into October. Uptober, right? Uptober. So that's kind of the cool news there. Looking at Ethereum. Ethereum there had our death cross. So we were in death cross. That's pretty much played out. But we're about to get back over the 50-day moving average, that yellow line. And we're almost got a week of September left. So fingers crossed. It's starting to turn, right? Starting to turn. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going into the end of September. That is the play. Now, Rex September has been pretty much a green, actually, for Bitcoin. So that's the positive news there. The positive is green for September, and it went against the tide of history there. So kind of cool. But some of the last year was green too for September. So fingers crossed. Let's go to the memes. Just quickly go through those. Not a lot of action at the moment. 15.5 billion for Dogecoin. So that's kind of up for the week. So a lot of them are up for the week, but down today. You can see down 3% on Lazy Sunday. And of course, you can see it across the board there. Big mover down is Bonk, down 7% today. But they're all pretty much still up. The big mover for the week so far pretty much been Dog with Hat up 13%. Popcat on Solana up 28%. They're doing very well. What else there? Dogs on Ton Chain there for Telegram. 19% down for the week, 12.6%. Really weakening off. Remember, it was sitting up about 550 million. Now it's at 428, so it has weakened off there. We've got some good gains for Mogcoin and Mu, both up 14 and 20%. Pipcoin up 42% for the week. Really good, strong showing there. Almost only down slightly today. So pretty good stuff there. What else? Nero is still up dramatically, 2,225%, up 3.4% to that, 350 mil. What else is interesting? Sundog down for the week. Baby Dogecoin up 71% for the week, so pretty good, 280 mil. Down 6%, and of course, so we're getting down to the ones there, like 18% up for Simon's Cat, and of course, Dogs on Runes. That's the one we're kind of focused on, right? The one on Bitcoin, Dogs on Rune. Now, they are going hardcore for a Kraken launch there. The Kraken Growth Manager going to have a call with, I think, Leonidas, the leader of Dog. So that could really turn around. Once you get that tier 1 listing, remember, a lot of these other ones have got tier 1 listings. Dog, the number 1 meme coin on Bitcoin has not. And, of course, once it happens, man, you could see this re-rate like a super dog. It's currently $250 million, up 18% almost for the week, down 6% today. So keep an eye out on that. Good accumulation zone for the old woof, woof, dog to the moon. So that's not too bad there. So that's the overall memes. Let's quickly look at the market cap of crypto, 2.21 trillion, down to 30% today, but still holding up pretty well. And the volume, $54 billion of volume, up 21%. So not too bad there on the volume. That's going to lead us into Pulsechain. Anyone want to talk about Pulsechain since it's mooning? Yeah, it's mooning. But before we do that, let's get into the chat, catch up with some people. Some peoples? What do you mean peoples? Who are you talking about peoples? Who are you talking about? Well, we're talking about you guys in the chat. That's what we're talking about. We got Matt's in the house there. Lots of love and fire. Yeah, fire, burning fire, love. We got Property Review. Another great day with the Hex Token channel. A big shout out to you, Property Review. Hope you're doing well out there. Matt says Nero seems to be pumping and then dumping many times over. Yeah, it's got a problem, got a life problem there. Matt says Inu and Bite Elon's AI dog are on fire. I like that one. All right, so let's get into it. Let's go to Pulsechain. It is pumping. It is the bulls are on the move. So let's get into that. And we've got day 499. Woo! We're almost at 500 days. Can you believe it? We're almost at 500. In fact, we're starting day 500 today. In fact, it's started 7 minutes ago. I'm just thinking about it. Day 500 has actually started. We're on day 499 results. And we've got the price at quadruple 047. Up 3%. We're 47% of the mean sacrifice price. So that's starting to slowly etch up, right? Slowly starting to etch up there. We're almost back at 5,000, so that's not bad. Pulsex is up 3.7%. Quadruple 0265 is 26% of the mean sacrifice price. Pulsex still has a long way to go to the mean sacrifice price. So actually, Pulsex seems like a lot of upside value there. The total buy and burn, 992 billion, heading towards 1 trillion. And we got the total percentage, 4.92% of the public supply is now being bought up and burned. Incentive token, $2.52, is up 3.5%. The ratio is sitting at 53,854. So about 0.5% is an increase in the ratio. The other 3% is the pulse price. Our supply, almost 42.8 million incentive tokens. Of course, they're emitted from what? The 500, the Pulsex V1 funds. That's it. Now, Hex has been the shining light on the hill, and it was pulled out that it would move because it's got lots more liquidity. It is an easy one, is the chosen one. It is sitting just below 87/100th of a penny. It took a bit of a breather earlier in the day, overnight, but has managed to bounce back up to 5.5%. Now, the RSI has been pretty hot, so that's the thing. Expecting a bit of consolidation there. EHEX at the moment at 24/100th of a penny, pretty similar to yesterday. Combined price of EHEX and PX is sitting at 1.11 cents. So it's great to be back over 1 cent again, isn't it? So there we go. Pretty strong showing from Hex. Hex for the win, is it? Let's quickly go to the charts on the daily. RSI pretty hot. I said the RSI is pretty hot here at 76. We consider see a good place for consolidation here, maybe a little bit of retesting. That's kind of where we are at the moment on the old Hex. Let's go to the daily. Let's go to the weekly. And that's the 2 weeks, 2 green weeks. And we just started a brand new week. Look at that. Woohoo! New week there. Can we do 3 weeks in a row and start parabolics? What do we got? We got some good support here. So if we could just move sideways, it would be pretty nice. But if we do retest, come back, retest a little bit, maybe come back and test 43 and then off to the roses there, maybe something like that. That'd be pretty cool. Just having a look down there. We don't really want to go too far back. Maybe 43 and then away, but a good chance we'll just stay here. It's still looking okay. RSI on the weekly is super low, as we say, still below 50. Pulsex at the moment, we've got a bullish cross. You can see on the moving averages that is pretty much played out. And at the moment, we are looking pretty good. The RSI hot again at 74. So we kind of need a bit of a breather here. Maybe go a little bit higher. Maybe we can get to 2,700 and then have a little breather there. And maybe just consolidate would be nice. Just to cool the RSI off on that one. And never know, the RSI might go even hotter, right, at 80 or 90. Let's see. But keep a look out on that. Expecting some sort of consolidation range at the moment. What do I see here? We've got INC. Let's have a look at the ratio to INC. I've got to do the weekly on Pulsechain, but that's all right. INC here moving sideways, pretty good. A little consolidation there, 53,700. And of course, we're right in the middle of the range. Look at that range. Let's go there. That's the range. What a boss. That has been operating really, really well. We're at 67 on the RSI for that, so it's still doing okay. And that's looking pretty nice. But Hex has been a real star, hasn't it? Hex there. Look at that. But the RSI is hot, 81 the RSI on the daily. Let's have a look at 4 hourly. See, there's much more room in there. Yeah, there's a little bit of room there. 67 on the 4 hourly. We got a little bit of room to move, and so that could lift up the RSI even up to 85 or something. And everything looking pretty good. Bullish cross back here on the moving averages, and we got the turn up of the 50-day. Look at that yellow line turning up to meet the 200-day. Let's see, man, that we can see some of the old school parabolics on the old Hex. So kind of cool. But we are hot on the RSI. All I say at the moment, kind of need a bit of a cool off there. We're up to 54 on the weekly. So like we've got a little bit more room to move. Be nice to consolidate in here, maybe around 1 cent. That'd be pretty cool if we can get up to there. But nevertheless, 9300th of a penny. That would be a pretty good spot. So let's see if we can make that, and then just move sideways for a little bit. Just cool off the RSI and go for another runner. Go for another runner leading up into, of course, the court case 24th of October, which is what, 4 weeks away or something. EHEX, of course, at 2400th a penny, just cooling off as well. Nice little consolidation here, right? The RSI was peaked out at 84 down to 73, and nice little consolidation there. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's go to the derivatives. Hex derivatives, best performer is ICOSA, up 13.8%, doing pretty well there. Base is actually up 8.8% as well. Moving to stable coins, what else there? Everything pretty much normal. PDI sitting at 3700th of a penny down the bottom here. Down 3.3% today. Otherwise, everything looks okay. Coast, yeah, the stables look pretty stable. And let's go to the influencer coins. Best performer, Poor Pleb, there is from Hexy Bastard up 5.6%, followed by Ben, which is the V1 Ben, right, which got copied over on Pulsechain, up 3.7%. That's kind of the play there. Some of the other ones there, Scuba Steve, which was doing pretty well, up 3%. Nope token for Randy Alaski at up 2.8%. So there's a few little things there at the moment. Let's go to overall coins. One that I haven't really pointed out was Jacob's one here. Pulsepot has been really moving really strongly. So let's have a look at that. So look at that. We've gone from 72 cents to $1.67 from for Pulsepot there. The world's first peer-to-peer crypto casino on Pulsechain, right? And that's operating pretty well. So nice one there. A little bit of action. I thought I'd highlight that. Let's see what else we got going. Let's go overall for Pulsechain before we wrap up the Pulsechain section. We're at $19.3 million. So you guys wanted more volume. We've got more volume. We've gone off. We had 5 to 7 million volume. We have been doing very well with the volume recently, somewhere between 10 and $25 million in volume. So really, really good stuff going on there. And more so in the high teens or early 20s. So we're getting the right sort of stuff. Things can turn around. Imagine when we get up to $40-50 million of volume, right? That's going to be really fun to see. We've got 181,000 transactions at the moment. Some of the top performers here is this token called Rect. Haven't seen that before. That is there. It's been around for a day, and it looks like a day or so. BFS been around for 8 months. That is up 20%. Peach has been around for 4 months. That's up 12%. 9mm, right? Our big DEX is our number 2 DEX, 9mm. That is up today, 11%. Let's have a quick look at 9mm just to see how that is looking. Our second biggest DEX. That is the chart at the moment. So it's actually just come off the bottom, hasn't it? Down at 4,800 of a penny. Now at 9,300 of a penny. Almost back to 1 cent. So keep a lookout for 9mm. Yeah, let's see what it's going. Now, we're going to look at the volume in 9mm in a second just to see how that's pitching. What else there? PDC, of course, we talked about that. That is on the title today because bulls are on the move. And, of course, look at that chart. What else? Do you hate that chart? That is the chart of PTGC. Is that the best chart on Pulsechain? Let me know. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Pretty amazing. We've got a nice chart there. I know people are loving it. A lot of influencers support this as well. So you're up 760%. So that's an 8.6x inside 70 days. Is that 70 days? Yeah, there's the weekly candles. These are weekly candles, and up 10% today. This thing cannot be held down. Now the big thing about this was it's. I just realized this is the INC one. I want to get rid of this one. There's another one. I want the pulse one. Let's bring in the pulse one. The pulse ratio got flipped, right? So that's pulse. That's PDC versus pulse. We're sitting at 0.01529. That is where the price is at the moment. And let's go to the flip it to Pulsechain and have a look how that flip Pulsechain. And amazing. That yellow line is 1-to-1. So 1 pTGC equals 1 Pulsechain. And it's now at 3.26, pretty much at all-time high. Impressive chart. Impressive chart. That is really doing super good there. Remember, that's a DAO reflection token system and multiple tokens with the arbitrage, well, I think, mixed in. So that's doing pretty well. And they've obviously got a very committed community that is doing brilliantly there. Hex token there has been around for a month. That's up 10%, 9-inch, which is for the 9-inch exchange. So we've got the two exchanges moving today. Nice to see that, right? 9mm and 9-inch. A nice little trend there. That is up 9% as well. So I did talk about the DEXs doing better. You know, PulseX and 9mm, 9-inch following the way there. That might be market-wide in crypto, right? You might see all the markets, DEXs get re-rated. And that would mean that DEX aggregators should get re-rated as well, like Matthias and things like that. So I guess that's the play. Blasters up there, 6%. We talked about PulseBot being up 8%. So some good stuff happening there. Loan Token, one of our biggest DeFi protocols, that is up 6% as well. Loan Token is a liquidity fork. You put Pulse in it and you collateralize it and you get yourself USD stable, one of our top stable coins native to Pulsechain. So that's up 6% there as well. Let's have a quick look at that one, given it's one of our biggest DeFis. 1.5 million market cap at the moment. The price is really skimming off the bottom, right? But that's because Pulsechain had the low volumes. And let's see whether this can really take off as a leverage play on Pulsechain in the future. That's kind of the play there. Algo, not too bad as well at 5.7%. That is kind of the play. And then we come down to Hex, right? Hex at number 25 here, up 5%. So some really good stuff happening on the old Pulsechain. Let's wrap it up with some Hex payouts. Let's see what day we're on, 5/7. So we haven't got today's results out yet. We've got yesterday's ones, which is 5.35. So that's kind of what you're getting on Hex at the moment. You can see it's been pretty consistent over the last 10 days. Kind of cool. Let's have a look at, let's actually quick look at the T-shares, see how that's going. T-shares, 8.9 million T-shares, so that's pretty normal. And of course, we haven't got Pulsechain up out either. The Pulsechain's slightly lower, getting about 7.2 Hex per T-share there over on Pulsechain. Has there been a bit of change in T-shares? 9,148,000. So there's about 250,000 more T-shares over on the old Pulsechain there. So we haven't got results out for today, but those were yesterday's ones there, waiting for today's results. For day 499 on Pulsechain, and of course day 1756 on the Hex. That's pretty much it on the roundup. Let's have a quick look at the rest of the main things there. Gas prices, yeah, the last 3 or 4 days have been really high when I've been covering it, right? We're up 750,000 beats at the moment. And of course, 1/10 of a penny. That's probably the new normal with the chain that's starting to rally up. 1/10 of a penny, or 1 cent, sorry, for a PulseX swap at the moment. And of course, let's have a look at the validators. 48,728 validators, 1.56 trillion staked to the market. No real change there. Maybe not even we're talking about these days. Just like to highlight the validators. You know, Pulsechain is a full DeFi, full system stake fork of Ethereum. And of course, that we always enjoy that. So there we go. We got Bridge. The Bridge keeps going up. This is our health check for Pulsechain, $105.8 million. So this is up a couple of $1 million from 2 days ago when I last streamed. I think we're sitting at 103.8, something like that. So it looks like we're up about 2 million since then, if I remember rightly. So that's good news, right? Good news. Now, the big mover here is DAI. I think DAI was 28.4 or something. We're up at 30 million. So a lot more DAI coming over the Bridge since then. Ether, of course, a bit flat today. Bitcoin up slightly. EHEX is pretty much the same as what we had 2 days ago. So probably not a lot of change there. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff there. All right, so that's kind of it, I think, on that one. We may have had some more USDC and as well. I'm not sure about that, but it looks a little bit higher. So that's kind of the play there. Let's have a quick look at the stable coins. We've got, these are native to Pulsechain. So we've got PXDC at 1.36 million, XDC there at 600,000, and USDL, as I said, for liquid lines up 9.2 million. So that gives us an additional, you know, 10.5, $11 million, just over $11 million there with native stable coins on Pulsechain as well. But a lot of them are staked, right? They're just stuck in the system, not moving around. That's why I'm so excited about PUSD Algo, right? I want PUSD Algo to fly because it's just so much upside, right? So much upside for scalability, and that's what you need. You need to solve that stablecoin trilemma. And of course, PUSD Algo from Jacob could do that. So bring it on, Jacob. Let's go bull mode, because we're talking about bulls on the move. Let's go bull mode on that today. Anyway, that is Pulsechain. So we've gone to the crypto, we've gone to Pulsechain. You know what's next up is Titan X ecosystem, which is absolutely doing some amazing things. and over the next 6 weeks to a few months, it's going to blow minds, and that's why we're covering it, because we like to make mad gains during crypto. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I've just got to get rid of some stuff here. So let me pull up the next section of the show. Titan-X, kind of cool. All right, kind of cool. All right. Let me jump out of there, and so I just got some messages happening there. So let me jump out of that. Who else has jumped in the chat here? We got Hexavator, and we're going to scroll back up quite a bit far behind here in the chat. I've got Craig Pitt in the house. Morning all. Pulsechain finally moving in the right direction. Yeah. There's a lot of Pulsechins that have been accumulating over the last 470 days, something like that, 80 days, that are very happy. Let's say 480 days that are very happy about the move in the charts. Hello, Hex Token, everybody, says Sandy Beach. Hello to you, Sandy. Always a pleasure. Brendan says, Hex broke my 8,500 resistance line. Yeah, well, it's really on the move here. Sandy says, I did some shopping today. Nice one on the old Pulsechain, no doubt. DCA for the win, absolutely. What else have we got there? Brendan says, I did shopping a month ago. Very nice, says Brendan. You did indeed, and it's turned out very, very good. There's a little bit of patience, right, for a few weeks. We got Hexavator in the house there. Hey, gang. Hey, Hexavator. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you in the chat as well. Clinton's, g'day, crew. G'day. I like your profile pic there, Clinton's. It looks kind of cool. That's pretty neat. What else there? October the 31st. Oh, yes, sorry. Yeah, it's not the 24th now. It's October the 31st for the court case in New York between Richard Hart and SEC. Thanks, Sandy, for reminding me of that. What else? Brendan says, PTGC has broken the RSI chart, lol. Yeah. PTC is just crushing it, right? It has been absolutely crushing it. Yeah, that chart sort of speaks volumes, doesn't it? All right, are we ready to get into Titan-X? And, of course, Flux launched today on top of Inferno. So we're going to talk about that. It's going to benefit Helios and going to benefit also Hydra. Dragon-X, my bad. My Dragon-X there. All right. How did I get so big? I don't know. It just happened. Let's go smaller. No, smaller. I said smaller. What the fudge? No, I'm still big. I can't stop being small. I want to be small again. Let's go. All right, bam. There we go. This is a crazy show today, but hey, the Bulls are on the move, and what can we say? Let's get into it. So we've got the top performers today. Flux has just launched. It is up 626%. Obviously, it's been alive for 10 hours, the chart. We're going to come back and have a look at that. We've got the next best performer is Hyper. Can't keep Hyper down. That is the leverage play on Titan-X. That is up 8.8%. Nice to see that. I expected to see that. I think it deserves a ratio change, so we'll look forward to that. Now, Janus is on top of Pulsechain, right? It's on Pulsechain, up 4.5% at the moment. So it's not on, the rest of these are on the Ethereum chain, and Janus is on the Pulsechain. It's from the dude, of course, the founder of Helios, and of course also the founder of the upcoming big protocol on the Ethereum called Element 280, which is going to be like a vehicle to invest in all of these different protocols. It's kind of going to be very, very useful. Now that's up 4.47% on Janus. Dragon-X, the big super whale, the store of value, is up 3.3%. So that's doing really well. We're going to talk about that as well because it's got some big deal happening with the ratio there. Legend-X is just pretty much down slightly, just slightly flat there. Legend-X. Helios there is down 2%. We've got Jake-X is down 5%, and Titan-X itself is down 8.3%. Now remember, Titan-X is kind of the medium of exchange, but it's about to enter a hyper-deflationary phase coming up in the weeks and maybe a month or two ahead, but it could be in weeks. I mean, we'll see how it goes with some of the protocol launches. We got Baby Dragon-X was actually the best performer last night when I turned in for the evening. That's down 9% today. Inferno, which is another store of value, a bit like Dragon-X, that's going to benefit from, of course, Flux, which just launched. That is down 21.5%. We had a few whales do some very early profit taking yesterday, and that was actually up over 3,000. Hydra, at the moment, the big new protocol from Jake Sharp there, which benefits Dragon-X, is down 29%. Now, it's going to be very, very volatile, and we're going to talk about the different changes in the buy and burns there and the purchases going on there. So we'll talk about that too. And then finally, Blaze is down 82% there at the moment on the 24-hour. Now they have ETH going there, right? So we'll be talking about that a little bit too. Let's get into the new one as Flux. Don't flux around with Flux. Don't flux around with Flux. We got, let's have a look at the hourly there. We've been up for 10 hours. These are hourly charts here. So we had obviously a big rally there. Now, when you launch a token, right, you get bots. So it looks like the Blaze team, which has launched Flux here, has done better with their LP starting to mitigate the amount that the bots get. And anyway, so the chart is a bit better than normal. Got up to quadruple 01428 from the looks of it, or 1419. Then obviously got some profit taking currently at the moment, 509247. That is where we are at the moment. Now, there's 108,000 in liquidity, and the ratio is 3.8 Inferno to 1 Flux from the looks of it. So there we go. What else? We got 6.89 billion Flux in the pool, 18.28 billion Inferno in the pool. Let's go really look at the supply of Flux. There we go onto the blockchain here, and we can see that there's currently 85 billion Flux, 22 holders only at the moment. There's not a lot of holders. It reminds me of Hydra when Hydra launched. That is kind of the play there at the moment. So you can see some of the holders there. So not a lot of holders, only 22 at the moment. So it's just launched. So we're going to watch out for that. So 22 holders, 85 billion Flux there. That's the play. Now, I think we've got the LP. Yeah, we've got the LP Flux here. Let's go to that, B3. And let's have a look here on that one. So we've got the Flux. Let's go to the last page. Man, I not normally do this, but we can have a look. And, of course, let's have a look at this first transaction. So, yeah, we had, what's the LP liquidity? 9.8 billion Flux. So what do we say? There's 22. And then 4.3 billion Inferno there is being added from the looks of it to the pool. Remember right now. All right, so let's jump over to the Flux protocol. So obviously on TitanX Hub, you can find all the protocols on TitanX. So there we go. There's a fine list there by Mike Dean. 21 projects on their list, but there are more in development and concept stage than on this list. So it really is, TitanX ecosystem really starting to take off, and a real boom expected. So we're going to see that Mike Dean has added the Flux at number 11 here. And of course, it has launched. It's got the price chart in here now as well. So that's kind of cool. So you can see that we've got a lot of projects now, 11 projects launched on, or 10 on top of TitanX, plus TitanX makes 11. So at the top there, pretty awesome. So good news there. This ecosystem continues just to really start to take off. It's really on that takeoff phase. We've also got more coming, Titan Farms, Element 280, Vaults coming up. And of course, we're going to talk about Vault quickly. That's the next one to launch, right? Vault. So let's open up the Flux site here. And actually, I'm going to refresh it. Let's open it up again. Let's do it from fresh because it's so cool, the website. We've got to do it from the start here. So let's go to the website. Bam. There we go. Look at that. You love the animation. Now, I think this is easily the number one meme version or meme DeFi on top of TitanX. And, of course, Flux is going to be benefiting primarily the Inferno store of value token. But I love this animation, and you can just sit there for ages looking at it. It's pretty cool. They're pretty badass there. Now, I'm going to post the link to this app here if you want to check it out. You can participate if you want, but remember, always do your due diligence. So there we go. That is the app there, app.flux.one. It's just launched about 10 hours ago. We got Brian in the house. Hey, Brian. I hope you're doing well. What's up, folks? Right. So let's enter the DApp. Bam. All right. So this is the DApp. There's obviously an auction. Obviously, with the auction, there's also staking. And with staking, there comes rewards. And of course, there's also a buy and burn. And of course, then there's a stats page. So I mean, that's pretty much the menu there. You connect your wallet up. And we're currently in day one. We've got 16 and a half hours to go. Day one is different from day two onwards. So day two onwards is quite different. Day one here, all the rewards are going into this big, fat, juicy payout, this 8-day payout. So we'll come back to that. So at the moment, we've got the auction here. You can deposit. You can deposit the amount of TitanX that will be deposited into auction. So you need TitanX to go in here. And then, of course, that is in the play. They've got an auto buy and burn, auto amount of TitanX that will be used to purchase Flux on the market and auto stake. They've also got total TitanX to deposit as well, total amount of TitanX you want to deposit there. So you got that. You can obviously read that, connect the wallet. Flux claimable. Now, a very important thing when you're going into the auction here, particularly on day one, is that it's timestamped, right? It's timestamped. So somebody that went in the auction before you is going to have theirs coming out before you, right? So that's kind of the logic there. one strategy that is to DCA into the auction. Right, you go on it every couple of hours, depending on what you're willing to go on with Titan X. You go in a couple of hours, so that's kind of the play there, and then you'll be able to claim your Flux. So you'll be able to claim it 24 hours, I believe, after you've gone in. Now we've got a deposit summary here. So if you put 100,000, that's $73 at the moment of Titan X. That's going to give you 18,700 Flux, which is $169 at the current market value. So the current market value, of course, is 9,247. So I'll post the link to this chart too if you want to check that out. So let's post that. Bam. Have we got Pulse Nation in the house there? Have not looked at the system. Have been hearing about it. Says Pulse Nation. Hey, that's great. Well, we're just doing a quick coverage. It's just launched 10 hours ago, so yeah, hopefully give you a bit of an introduction. Now, I think that Bad Sports just went on a influence in the Titan ecosystem called Mo. So they've got a lot more detail in that stream, so you can definitely check that out for that. And I may very well have Bad Sports, one of the developers for Flux, coming on the stream later in the week. So we'll catch up with all his roadmap, because he's got obviously just launched Flux on top of Inferno. Inferno's their project too. And coming up in the future is going to be Alien X. So they're working on the next one. And they've got a whole pipeline of projects coming. They're going to be building on top of Inferno and on top of Flux. Alien X is going to be on top of Flux. So it's going to, aid the burn on Flux. So, projects on projects, kind of pretty cool. Anyway, so the current price is a ROI of 133%. Now that obviously can change as we move into tomorrow. The buy and burn's not operating at the moment, so remember that. So that's kind of the yield. And of course, this is all the staking. Earn passive income by staking your Flux. So you can put the stake amount in there. The stake length, obviously, minimum is 90 days. Maximum is 2,888 days. Remember, longer pays better. So if you're committed to the system, you can speculate, play the short game, or you play the, do a ladder and, different stakes and stuff like that. Or you can, I guess, play the long game, right? Those are kind of the options open to you. Let's go to the routes. They've got voluntary stakes and auto stakes. So you're going to have to read the white paper, details about that. But let's have a look at the rewards. So all the rewards on day one. So day one's a little different from day two onwards. So all the rewards are going into the 8-day payout for the first day. So just remember that's global cycle payout. And at the moment, it's already at a very good number here, $113,000 US, and it's paid out in Titan X. So you put Titan X in, but it's paid out in Titan X. So if you are staking, then it's going to benefit you. 155 million Titan X there, and the countdown is ticking away there. So countdown until this payout cycle triggers is 7 days and 16 hours away. So there we go, a nice little juicy payout there at the moment. And then of course from day two onwards, you should see the 28 and 88 payout happen. And I believe from the staking, you get access to the 8-day, the 28-day, and the 88-day payout. And of course, only to get the 777-day payout, only eligible to voluntary max stakers. So not auto stakers, but voluntary. You got to voluntarily do the max period stake there, which I believe is the case. So yeah, cycle payout there. So that's taken away as well. You can find more details in the white paper about that. Then obviously the burn is really important. We're going to come back to the burn in a minute, but of course the auction is a big deal, and we can see some of the overview numbers. So how much Titan X has come in here so far, and of course how far through are we? So we're almost a third the way through the day, because there's 16 hours and 25 minutes to go for the first day auction, which is, we're 100% of that stuff goes into the Titan X reward pool, excluding what goes to the buy and burn and other protocols, Helios and Inferno. But we've got 16 days, 24 minutes left. So far, I guess we've been 7.5 hours. We've got 403 billion Titan X. So that is very, very good. Now, obviously, the first day we may get a lot of FOMO. We get a very high number, but who knows what it will be in the days following. We shall see. But in any case, that is looking pretty good there, 403 billion. And if this can do, if it can do $1 trillion in the first day, I think it's a very successful number. And of course, typically towards the end of the day, you're going to have a bit of FOMO as well, right? Yeah, but like I say, the timestamping of going into auction, normally would help with, getting a bit more FOMO in as well. So we'll keep a look out this number. We've got another 16.5 hours to go for day one and see whether that can hit $1 trillion. That's kind of the play there. Now, the total Flux emitted in the auction today is 75 million. So that's the play there at the moment. Flux Titan X ratio is 5.374 at the moment, and also always important to look at the ratios there in terms of performance. So that's kind of the play. Yeah, let's go to the burn. The burn at the moment's got $130,000 in it, 178 billion Titan X, and this won't operate until tomorrow. So I think it's in about 17 hours time or so. So that is important. Mechanism activates every 8 minutes, but what it's going to do, it's going to burn the whole balance over every 8 minutes. So 100% of the balance is going to get burned over every 8 minutes. So you basically divide, the 130,000 divided by 8 minutes in a day over a 24-hour period. So it's kind of cool. It's going to be a lot of periods, right, burning. So you're going to have to use the MEV blocker to call it. So it's going to be interesting to see the operate. So that's on the buy and burn. On the overall stats, it has more details, and what we can see is that we have the Flux price, we have the Flux market cap, so $781,000 market cap at the moment. The Flux supply is 85 billion Flux tokens. Let's see here, a Flux staked voluntary. Total amount of Flux tokens staked voluntarily by users, not auto stake, which starts tomorrow, is 168,000 Flux, is it? And so that's a very small amount at this stage. Flux burned. Nothing burned, like I said, it's not going to start till tomorrow. Inferno burned by Flux, that is 0 at the moment as well. Titan X sent to Dragon X, looks like $11,400 sent to Dragon X so far. So Dragon X has been benefiting from a further 15.5 billion Titan X going to that, I guess, to the burn wallet there, burn vault. And Titan X to Helios is got $5,700, so 7.8 billion Titan X so far during the day. So that's going to be really, really good for both of those protocols. That's kind of the play there. You can see the little there. You also got all the docs. You can find out more information there. And of course, you got all the contracts down the bottom right there. So kind of cool. And as far as I know, the contract's been verified as well. It's got the security issue, ownership renounced. I'm sure the contract has been verified though. So I think they mentioned that on the Most channel, which I only watched a little bit of, so you can go check that out on YouTube. So that is kind of the play there on Flux. So a pretty strong start, I think, and it's going to be interesting to see how the full day results go. We'll cover those tomorrow. Let's have a look at some of the other stuff that's going on. Let's see here. We got obviously Hyper doing pretty well, up at 17%. So a nice little move for Hyper. Remember, Hyper has captured a lot of value in Titan X. So the price there currently doing pretty well. Nice little bounce back here at the moment. Had been up, around 3,400 to currently 2,555. Been down as low as about 2,100 on the price with 5 zeros in front. So a nice little pickup there. And let's have a look on the hub there. We're going to go to Hyper and scroll out there, have a quick look on this. We've got quite a bit of time, so we're going to deep dive, do a bit more deep dive than normal. We're going to go to the yield at the moment. So yield to do a Hyper miner is 177%. Remember, this is kind of a leverage play to get more Titan X. It's kind of the idea here. And the big deal, I think, is that it's captured so much value, right? So it's got $4 million worth of Titan X in here. That's a huge basket of buying power, right? So buying a Titan X with Ethereum. So this is going to help push the Titan X price up. And at the moment, it's sitting at $2,600 on the next buy and burn 1 ETH every 3 hours. So that's kind of the rate that's going at the moment. And of course, it buys Titan X, and the Titan X goes in here. We've got the Hyper buy and burn. And we've got 1.2 trillion Titan X in here, $885,000. And of course, the Titan X bought through ETH is used to buy Hyper and burn it. And of course, that's doing pretty well at the moment. It's sitting about $4,000 every 3 hours. So that's the pace of that one. And of course, the Vortex is slowly filling up. Got a bit more ETH because remember the Vortex got hit the other day. So that Vortex went into here, right? And of course, now we're starting to fill up again. We've got 8 ETH in there. So it's pretty cool. So if I remember rightly, we had about 1,100 ETH or something. No, 400 ETH it was. Around just under 400 ETH that went in here and topped that up. We also got a bit in the Titan X Vortex as well, slowly churning up there as well. So it's kind of cool. Now, the one thing is that we've got very low liquid. We're under 1.2 trillion. Before the Vortex operated the other day on the 19th, which was only about 4 days ago, we had 1 trillion and 20 billion. So we're back up to 1193. So that would include the payouts that we had. We had the 98-day payout that paid out about 78 billion or something, which got added to the supply. And of course, we probably had a few miners come out as well. The burn though, user burned 35.5 billion has been burned so far, and the buy and burn, the one we're watching there, is now at 1.2 trillion, which is pretty cool. It's actually more than the liquid amount, which is pretty crazy, right? That's kind of cool. So that is what's happening there at the moment. Yeah, the next big supply that we're expecting is from miners, the people that are mining, and that's expected to come out on the 8th of October. So that's still about 2 weeks away. And that's going to be about 92 billion. So we'll obviously keep burning. The buy and burn is going to keep burning through this liquid supply and any miners that come out. So it'll be interesting to see where we are by the 8th of October there before the next inflation. Then we don't really have a lot of inflation until the beginning of November. So we'll keep a look out on that. That's kind of the play. All right, so that is on the Titan Hub. So we talked about Flux. We talked about Hyper. Now, one of the wildcats might be Helios, and we're going to talk more about that in the future. So I'll come back to that, but they had a nice little move today and retrace. So let's get out of here and go to the next one there. Dragon X, of course, is the big store of value. It's kind of the no-brainer there, and it is moving up all leaps and bounds today. So let's go into that. So we've got the ratio is breaking records. I mean, the ratio is at 18.5. Oh, look at that. Woo! See the orange line here is the resistance sitting at 15.2. We've just broken out from that, and no surprises, right? Why? Because Hydra is launched and it's captured a record amount of Titan X in there for buy and burn pressure. It's just going to be pretty amazing for staking. Makes the Dragon X staker bigger. And it's going to make the payout on the 369 on 30th of October bigger. And of course, that's going to push Titan X up as well. And so they were also got, obviously, Dragon X is being burned, right? So 92%, 20% and 92% of Titan X that goes in is burning Dragon X too at a certain pace. So that's kind of cool. 18.5% there. 18.5x is the amount of Titan X per Dragon. So it's just breaking to the upside. Amazing stuff there. And the US dollar price, obviously, also moving up there, 13.54. Looking really, really good. And obviously, if Titan X goes up even more, that's going to go up even more, right? Because Titan X is priced in Ethereum, and that's Ethereum is priced in US dollars. So that's kind of the play there. So you got a leverage on a leverage there. So if you're holding Dragon X, you'll be smiling pretty nicely now. And of course, this is just broken out to another level. So bring it on. It's going to be pretty fun. What else are we going to say about Dragon X? Now, Dragon X obviously benefiting from Hydra. Hydra's down at the bottom at the moment, so that's down 36%. But let's go have a look at Hydra. It kind of seems like the right one to talk about there. Down 36%, but is up 40% almost on the 6 hour. It's a nice little rebound there. Now, the one thing we keep looking at is the Dragon X, right? The Dragon X ratio. And of course, we're sitting at 1.06. Now, it actually dipped down. This is on the hourly chart. Dipped down about 6 hours ago. Got down to as low as 0.56. So almost just over half a ratio. So Dragon X getting really powerful. So yeah, if the price is not increasing on Hydra very much, we probably recently expect to see this in the short term as well, maybe even the medium term, as Dragon X just starts to separate itself despite the buy and burn on Hydra, right, burning Hydra. So yeah, that's kind of what we're recently expecting. It's kind of playing out that way. So going long on Hydra, probably generally the best, or just getting Dragon X or a bit of both, probably the play there. What else we got going? We got Janus, of course, up 4.5%. Of course, that's related to Helios. That's on Pulsechain, doing very well. We'll probably come back and talk about that another day. Let's see what else. We're going to come back. Yeah, we're going to come back, talk about Janus and Helios again another day there. JKX, the meme coin down. Titan X itself. So let's talk about the medium of exchange. Titan X itself. And this is about to go hyperdeflationary, right? So, and we've got an update in the maps. You guys want to hear about the future maps? Other future projects. Let's talk about that. All right, so let's get rid of the RSI. So this is the quiet before the storm. Honestly, this thing is about to go absolutely ape. So we've got some updates here. So what do we have? We just have Flux launch. Yahoo! Benefits Inferno primarily. Obviously benefits Dragon X and Helios to some degree as well. But really primarily Inferno, 70.2%, right back through, and so that's kind of cool. So that's just launched. So we're going to delete that. That is off. We just talked about that today. So we're going to delete that. Now, next up is Pulsar. When's Pulsar launching? Question mark. So that could be still on the table there. We know that Ouroboros is testnet is in testnet, and that's doing very well. I posted images of that in Strategy Club. When we'll have the project launch. I've got it here still the end of September, but it's likely to flip into October. These are big DeFi protocols, stablecoin lending. You can imagine probably going to take a bit longer than that, than their early estimates. But the next project that's launching coming up is Vault. Yeah, baby. On the 28th of September, that's when we're expecting it to launch. It's going to benefit Dragon X. So Dragon X is already on the run because of Hydra. And of course, now it's got Vault coming as well to help its way. And it had the Flux also benefiting Dragon X. So 3 protocols benefiting Dragon X on side in like a week and a half. That's pretty crazy. And so here we got Vault coming up, and that's expected for the 28th. So that's pretty exciting to see that. Now, we also had, I forgot to talk about the Blaze outcome. We also had about $240,000 in Blaze ETH that came out on the 21st. So that's come out too. And where did the ETH go? Well, I guess the markets, people going back in the system there. So the next big one that we're guaranteed that's launching is Vault. That's on the 28th. Question mark over Pulsar, and Ouroboros, of course, is under testnet. That could probably fit into October. That's kind of the play at the moment. Pretty exciting. That's just the end of September. And then, of course, we're moving into October. And you can see all the protocols there looking pretty fine and dandy. And I've added a couple more. Hope you can see them. Well, I've got Titan Farms early October. That's looking pretty good, subject to audits. And then we've got Element 280. That's going to be early October. Now, that's going to have quite a long 28-day mint phase. And I suggest that they move it, have part of it at the end, covering over the 369 payout over here, because that way some of the ETH come out here could go into the Element 280 raise. So that's probably a good idea. But the question mark is we've got Felix. I've got that currently in the 7th of October. So they said in a couple of weeks. So a couple of weeks from today is leading us into the 7th of October. So Felix is looking like that's going to launch. That's going to benefit Titanx. So going straight down to the medium of exchange. And we've also, did you see that? So these are, see the red box? This is just some of the names that we know that are coming. They're not even on Mike Dean's dashboard. And of course, they're coming into the play. And I've taken out AwesomeX. Yes, I have. AwesomeX now, 13th of October. That's estimate at the moment. That is also the founder said a couple of weeks. So we've got that in at the 13th of October. So there we go. AwesomeX. And guess who's benefiting? You guessed it. Number 4, Dragon X. And not number 4 protocol to benefit Dragon X. So we've got number 3 there, Vault. And now we've got AwesomeX. And number 4 there coming in for Dragon X. Kind of pretty awesome. Now, Titan Farms, Element 280, and Ouroboros will all benefit Titan X, Dragon X, and all the protocols. AwesomeX is pretty dedicated to that. So that's coming out later on to AwesomeX. And of course, we'll probably do more coverage on that. Kind of cool. So that's kind of where we are at the moment on that. So yeah, Vault coming up in the 28th there. That's not too many days away, 5 days or something is the expected time. So we'll keep a lookout on that. So pretty exciting stuff. Now, the other thing for the supply of Titanx, let's have a quickly look at the website. We can see the stats at the moment. 60 billion Titanx at the moment. This has gone down. We're sitting about 60.7, 60.8 yesterday. We've come down to 60.389. Now, you know why. We've got obviously more stuff coming. We're expecting, I think, about 600 billion today. But of course, we've had the Flux eat up 400 billion of that. So that's really cool. And so therefore, the BOT has gone up to 26.26 billion, trillion, I should say. Titanx and the POT is the second layer protocols, right? Third layer protocols. So that's looking really good. So that is the total supply at the moment. Now, we're probably going to go below 60 soon, I'm sure, but we are entering the last of the big inflation for Titanx, and then we start to move into that full-on DeFi, deflationary mode. So let's have a look at the expected future inflation for Titanx. It is coming out. So we're going to look at the 90-day. I'm going to go full mode there. So we get the full graphics. So this is the next 90 days. So you can say this is the last. Here's the last hill left on Titanx. Not much to go. We've, like I say, we got the 6:45 just finished. We've just moved into this day, 6:36. This is our current day, the orange one there. And then we enter into 798 on the 24th. And then the last 5 candles for September of over $1 trillion coming out between the 25th and the 29th. And then we have a bit of a gap. And when we got into October, we've got 2 candles left at $1 trillion level in October. By the 5th there, we're through it. So we've only got 7 more candles over $1 trillion. And then it's down, baby, down from there. And you can see the excitement grow because, as I pointed out on here, we've got all these projects launching in October. Yeah, baby, yeah. We got Viper, Felix, Element 280, Titan Farms, probably Ouroboros, AwesomeX, maybe Pulsar. You can see the lineup here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 8 projects launching in October. Whoa, 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 whoa. And of course, so we've got all these supply sinks, and we've got the end of the inflation, really. So it's moving like TitanX, like DragonX, and like Inferno. It is moving to almost a fixed type of token supply, and that's actually just going to go down, right? And that's why we talk about moving from hyperinflation to hyperdeflation. And we've still got quite a bit to still come out. Let's not kid around, but we've got all those 8 protocols, and we're almost over the big days. Once they're out, they're out. And then down we go pretty fast from early October, down pretty fast, pretty quickly. Certainly by the middle of October, we are sub 500 billion candles coming out, and they really do drop off. I mean, look, the 22nd of October, 110 billion. The last sort of big candle after that is 465 on day the 31st of October, just a day after the 369 payout. And then, of course, by the time you get to November, there's next to nothing, right? Next to nothing. So this is starting to get really real in this TitanX chart here. Keep a lookout for that, because we're going to probably have a lot of the market as our expectation to front run all the supply, knowing that the end of the inflation's out. So that's got to be played. And watch this TitanX chart potentially break out to another level, kind of consolidating in this range, right? And about to enter, the end of inflation, and 8 protocols just for October alone, let alone what's coming up in November and December, right? So pretty exciting stuff, and we can see them being added to the list as they firm up those protocols. So a lot of exciting stuff happening there. And of course, let's not forget the buy and burn. We've got the hyper buy and burn operating, the TitanX buy and burn operating on TitanX. The V2's got 588 ETH, $1.5 million in it, and the V1, which is not even operating, has got $11.5 million and 4,500 ETH sitting in there too. And of course, you got the hyper as well. So, and then you're going to have all these protocols coming on top of TitanX. Of course, Felix is a dedicated one, but with all these big DeFis coming in and out as well. So TitanX is evolving from just an ROI protocol ecosystem to having DeFi support as well. Going to booster up the LP pools, incentives, stable coins, lending, everything else like that. Big mutual fund type of thing. It's going to be pretty awesome. So that is coming up for that on TitanX. Let's go back to some of those other things here. Inferno, of course, benefiting from Flux today. Let's quickly talk about that. It is down 18% there. A bit of profit taking today. And we saw that in the candle. See how we had this big run up in Inferno? We got all the way up to 3,000, and that was super duper good. And the ratio got up pretty high as well. Where did they get up to? Got up to 3.84. So really nice to see that. I kind of feel like Inferno and Hyper could have a ratio re-rate, and maybe Helios as well. So Helios is one to look out for, because we've got the Element 280 coming. Remember that? So really cool there. 3.33 at the moment. A nice little comeback here on the day, just starting a brand new channel there. A chart there. We had a bit of a bout of selling. See the bout of selling here, and we actually got pushed down to 2.9 on the ratio here from probably, I think it was about $67,000 of value sold off here. Remember, liquidity is 293, and yeah, that got pushed down to about 240 or something, with some larger holders selling out there, just leading in before we even launched Flux, which was kind of interesting. So yeah, US dollar price, of course, on Inferno are playing out there as well. Now, the supply is I don't know, the buy and burn's definitely slowed down. We've got 2 buy and burns right now. We've got the buy and burn, which is the Inferno one, but then we have Flux launching, which has got this, adding to the buy and burn. And we can see the tokens have only come down a little bit over the last 24 hours. Remember, they change depending on the day, how much it comes out. And of course, we're on a Monday, so we're on a 4% day, right? That's 4% of the, I think it's 45 or 50% of the value each week left in the pool goes to the buy and burn. And we can go to the Inferno, and we can see that we got 3,240 billion. Now, I took a snapshot last night just to keep an idea of where this is at. So this was 6 o'clock. So how many hours is that? So this is about 18 hours ago. So 18 hours ago, we had 3,256 billion. And 18 hours later, we got 3,240 billion. So it's only gone down by 16 billion in that time. So it's kind of a bit odd, but it is, it keeps moving around. So I don't know whether the team's doing something there or what, or it's just because it's 4% of a lower base. But that does seem relatively low off today. Now, let's see. So that's where we are there on that. Let's quickly go to the website for Inferno, and we're going to quickly check that. Obviously go in here as well with the good old bulls. And we can see that we, even with that lower burn, that lower than I expected, we're sitting at 44%. So remember, Sunday to Wednesday, it's 4% of the buy and burn, which is about 50% of the pool. So whatever's remaining in here, I think it's about 50%. So let me go back up here. And the amount that we've got in there, 700 million Titanx, is still over $500,000. And that is 50% per week, pretty much, is the way I understand it working. And so, yeah, we've just gone from 43% yesterday to 44%. So it is definitely burning through, but just a relatively low yesterday. And, of course, then once we get to Thursday, it goes to 10% of the 50% amount. And then it goes to, I think, 15% on Saturdays and Sundays. Sorry, Fridays and Saturdays. And that's kind of the way the burn operates. Now, there's the docs, so we might just go and read that quickly. Just so that we're not mucking around here. So yeah, 4%. Yeah, 4% Titanx used each day, Sunday to Wednesday. 10% is used on Thursday and 50% on Friday and Saturday. So that is correct. What else there? They're obviously every half an hour interviews. Now, they don't seem to operate every half an hour, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I know they had issues with MEV bots. I thought they had worked through that. So maybe it's just because there's a low amount, 4% at the moment, but it does seem particularly low regardless of that. So yeah, just a little question mark there from my point of view. And I believe it's 45 or 50% of the remaining balance every week. So it goes through, maybe it does a snapshot and then it goes through the following week, whatever's left, and 50% from there. That's kind of the play. All right, that is a ticking away there. And remember, the total supply is fixed now, right? So there's no total supply is now fixed of this, and the burning is slowly grinding up. And of course, Flux is going to be filling up this burn, right? So filling up this burn there. As well. So if that's the way it's done. So let's quickly go to the Flux. We're going to go through that, and we're going to go to the docs on here. We're going to go docs on Flux, and quickly check that. That's going to open. It's not opening, so let me try that one more time. Nah, sometimes it doesn't open after I've opened up too much stuff, but that is kind of the idea. You can check out the docs yourself for that. All right, let's jump over there, and that is on Inferno. So Inferno there, kind of 2440. The ratio sitting at the moment is slightly off the bottom there, 3.33. A little bounce here at the moment, so we'll keep a lookout on where that will go, benefiting from Flux, right? So that's kind of the idea. So that's kind of the overview there as well. I haven't talked about all the projects, but that's kind of the ones I wanted to talk about today. Yeah, that is where we are. Anything else? Yeah. So let's go to the DragonX and have a look to see what betting from Hydra, how that's going. So at the moment we've got AB. Where's AB here? Yeah, the last big stake that DragonX made because of it benefiting from Titanx going into Hydra was 4 hours ago, and it's 103 billion. So that's increased the position of DragonX as a super whale. The previous one was here a day ago. That was 101 billion. So yeah, 3 hours ago it got bigger. Let's go have a look at what that means in terms of the 369 payout on the 30th of October. Remember, that ETH is going to be released, and it's going to about $6 million or so. That's going to go and buy with DragonX share, which is 2.6 million, 1,023 ETH. That's going to go over a period of days, weeks, going to buy Titanx off the market with millions of dollars, right, and drive up that. So we're going to obviously have low future inflation. We talked about that, right? So low future inflation coming out in October. We can see that here. That's the sort of the month of October. And then we're obviously going to have the payout at the end of October. So around about here. So it's going to be there. And of course, then from the weeks ahead, it's going to go and buy Titanx off the market, right? So with all those millions of dollars of ETH, which is pretty cool. Now, I suggest a lot of the other stuff will be also doing that. So that's going to be pretty important. In fact, let's have a look at that payout just quickly. So we've got plenty of time. 59 minutes on the hour. So that payout at the moment is $6.5 million, 2,500 ETH. And of course, that means if we've got the maths, let's get the calculator up. We can see how much of the staker pool DragonX now owns. So if it is getting 1,023, let's say 1,024 ETH, we'll divide that by the total amount of ETH for the payout on TitanX, which is here, 2497. 2497, then that is 41%. So DragonX now has 41% of the ownership pool or shares of the payout pool in TitanX, of course, which is the main coin, right, or token in the system. 41%. So it was sitting at about 36% last week before Hydra launched, and of course it is now at 41%. So it's gone up 6 percentage points, pretty much 5 percentage points, let's say. Since Hydra's launch. So not bad, not bad. Which brings us to Hydra, and let's talk about that quickly. And so DragonX is getting bigger, and of course the price of DragonX has gone up dramatically. We can see that we did a huge breakout on the TitanX ratio and hit some new territory. 18.5 is the now new high. So the market is pricing it in. And of course it is benefiting from Hydra. Hydra, of course, has the buy and burn. Now, the mining yields at the moment are 1,200%. Now, this is wavering a lot, right? So 2,000% down to 800%. So they're moving around quite a bit, and of course that's what we expected. But the buy and burns have actually been increasing. So the buy and burns there have been changed at least 4 times. So maybe 5 times. Yeah, 4 times is it? We started off at 10, so that was just to make sure that no one was doing anything with it. But we're now up to 5.3 billion TitanX callable every 33 minutes. So that keeps going up. I think it was 2.8 billion before that. And yeah, it's more than that again. So yeah, it's gone up 5.3. So it's now close to $4,000. So what this does is it takes the TitanX and it buys DragonX, right? And that DragonX is, as we know, 20% is going to be burned. Now the Hydra buy and burn, the buy and balance has got, it's got a little bit of DragonX in there too. And what it's going to do is it's going to buy $1,700 worth. So it's sitting at 128 million DragonX at the moment. So the Hydra buy and burn Hydra, right? So that is the play at the moment. So it's taken away. And of course, the Vortex there looking pretty solid, right? $1 million in the TitanX Vortex at 1.4 trillion TitanX in there. So pretty good. And we can see that we've got 9.7 trillion over on the buy DragonX for TitanX. So if we add those together, we've got 10, what was it, 10 plus 4, we've got 11.1 trillion or so in there at the moment. So, and I suspect that it's going to start, getting bigger over time, actually. There's a good chance of that, so we'll keep the tabs on that. Now, the staked at the moment, we've got liquid supply of Hydra is sitting at just under 15 billion. Now, the next 4 days, so today and the next 3 days, we know are going to be somewhere between 10 and 14 billion a day coming out. So we're sitting there at the moment on that. And the burn at the moment, 7 billion burned at the moment in Hydra. So, versus 15. So there we go. That's a 50% almost ratio, isn't it? There, just under 47%, something like that. We also know that we've got DragonX statistics down here as well. So, so far the buy and burn has done about 3.5 billion Hydra. So Hydra buy and burn. So total of DragonX burned by the Hydra buy and burn contract. So it's still fairly modest, about 50K. So we expect that to ramp up over time with the higher burns there. And what else there? I think that's kind of it at the moment. Is it? Yeah, DragonX distribution. So, still modest on that, but still ticking away pretty nice. That is where we are on Hydra. And so, yeah, we might get a little bit of a big day, of course, because we did what 13 trillion or something, 14 trillion something. Was it 12? No, 12.4, I think it was, something like that. And of course, we expect a bit of a post big day and sort of cool off a little bit and then start to maybe hockey stick up a bit more as it moves up to maybe higher levels per day of TitanX going in there. The more TitanX, of course, the more bullish it is for the whole ecosystem as well as DragonX. And of course, we see those buy and burn changes as well. So cool. The more TitanX goes in there, it sends 20% off to the to DragonX for staking, and then it burns 20% DragonX, and of course it burns hyper there over the weeks ahead, months ahead. Kind of cool. Capturing all that value, baby. Yeah. So that's kind of the play there. Now we had quite a few updates here from Jake Sharp during the day. So he's been posting quite a lot of stuff. So he's been doing some cool stuff on there. I did want to highlight 1 or 2 of his posts that he's made. So let's scroll up to some of those. Mike Dean's been doing a lot of updates as well on his portfolio manager and on Telegram doing bot information. So really been enjoying that. So it's kind of cool. Let's scroll up here. I'm going to scroll up through some of these posts that he's reposted here. Let's scroll. Actually, there was there's a dev, play recording build on Titanx dev. So you want to definitely follow up on that. I haven't actually managed to watch that either. Probably should have before today's live stream, but that's coming up. There's a conference coming up, of course. Yeah, conference coming up here for Titanx ecosystem. So that's coming up for the 1 year anniversary, which would be about the 28th of October. So that's coming up. What else have we got going on here? Let's see there. Yeah, own conferences, kind of cool. Let's scroll back up here. Let's jump past that. Yeah, I wanted to get into some. He's got 1 or 2 comments up the top here I wanted to get into. Let's scroll back up here. Yeah, Titan Farms is coming. So Titan Farms is going to play a big role in Hydra. So obviously Titan Farms is from the Dragon X founder, Eric. So we're looking forward to that. It's a really big deal. Like, farming, they're going to have quite a few innovations. Also going to have an incentive token that's deflationary as well. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. So it's going to benefit all of the Titanx ecosystem projects, obviously including Hydra and Hyper there, the 2 leverage plays, right? So leverage on Dragon X and leverage on Titanx. So kind of cool. What else? Let's jump through some of this. Scrolling up here. Now there was one particular post I'm looking for. Scroll up. Is that the one I was looking at? This is the one I want here. Yep. So simplest way to understand the idea behind Titanx, if you're new to Titanx, it's a layer 1 within a layer 1. So obviously Titanx is on Ethereum. That's the idea there. And of course, Ethereum, they're a super valuable chain, right? Second most valuable chain in the world, meaning that we don't need and unnecessarily inflate the supply. Solana inflates 50 million per day to reward validators. And instead of creating a deserted island with no liquidity, 0 users, bridges, etc., we just go and build within ETH using Titanx as the token to use to enter protocols, appear in LPs, etc. So really, it's kind of made a revolution in DeFi 2.0. Well, I'd say more specifically ROI protocols. It's made ROI protocols can often be quite tricky things to get into and out. Normally if you're in early, you're doing pretty well. They don't often have buy and burns and things like that, and there's lots of issues around them. But he's really made that a lot more bullish. And of course, the tokenomics revolutions there, and pulling in some of the best ideas from the ecosystem, including some of Richard Hart's ideas, right? So it's been pretty good. Everything in the Titanx ecosystem is paired with only Titanx and the LPs, using Titanx to mint other tokens and fully fair launch. And I think there's been a very big, important revolution here doing the V3 pools. So I think that's been huge, and of course all benefits each other. So we can leverage all the Ethereum liquidity, volume users, devs, tools, etc., without having to bootstrap on layer 1, deserted island with no one cares about. So that's kind of cool. Now, upcoming project, probably in November, maybe at the earliest, is in my view, is X28. And of course, we'll take Titanx Eco Omnichain. So at the moment, Titanx is exploding onto Ethereum, taking over Ethereum, and about to go to hyper deflationary. Right, so it's going to be, you haven't seen nothing yet basically in Titanx. X28 will take Titanx Omnichain, so it's going to be this multi-chain idea. Then after a while, once we have all the users, builders, volume, etc. So X28, all the Titanx that goes into X28, it's going to be burned. So it's another massive deflationary mechanism coming. So it's going to be pretty exciting. We could go down our own L1 route with Meh, but not sure on that one yet. I don't feel like crypto needs yet another layer 1 unless we have a massive value prop, and Titanx would be used as a gas token there. That's the idea. And it fully launched fully fair launch, so people don't have to deal with the vulture capitalists, illegal ICOs, and of course rugs, shadow figures, etc. Everything is grassroots and fully community built, marketed. We've got more builders than layer 1s that got funded with 100 million, because no one could care less about them, since they just dump all over they basically dump on you anyway, don't they? The Titanx and build on Titanx is Revolution DeFi. So I think that's really, really exciting. And funny enough, that was reposted by Ouroboros, which is bringing the lending and stablecoin, which is currently in private testnet, to the Titanx ecosystem, which is going to be a big, big deal there as well. Ouroboros says, awesome post from Jake Sharp there. I'd like to add a very subtle extension to the layer 1 within layer 1 point, because sometimes with statements which pack a lot of profoundness, it can be hard to immediately unpack the why this is good for me as potential buy holder of Titanx. So let's think about Ethereum, the most successful layer one out there. Most people probably wouldn't admit it because they need to come up with some complex narratives for why number goes up. But most of the value of Ethereum fundamentally comes from the historic usage of Ethereum to gain entry into ICOs, IDOs, and all the other forms of raises that happen in crypto history. You held the ETH because you used the ETH to make sick gains on all the tokens which were funded by it. So how does this apply to what the build on Titanx ethos has done for Titanx? Well, it's simple. If you want entry to the various 10s and 100x's this community produces, you've got to hold Liquid Titanx as the right time. Now, Liquid Titanx, of course, is the medium of exchange in this ecosystem, what we call Titanx ecosystem of ROI, and soon to have DeFi protocols like Ouroboros. A big part of what made ETH run hard last cycle was the emergence of DeFi, which did two things. Number one, locked up a lot of ETH up in productive protocols, and two, gave people a reason to hold and speculate on things launched on Ethereum. Build on Titanx is giving us the same sort of environment, so we're getting the benefits of being a layer one token in a hot ecosystem purely by social consensus rather than the fact of living on a particular chain. So really is going to be a flourishing time for the old Titanx ecosystem. So that is a bit of a wrap up today of Titanx. Hope you guys enjoyed some of those insights and commentary. If you haven't joined up the Strategy Club and you want to find out more, we have constant intel going through there every day. And yeah, join up today. Links in the video description. Only $35 a month. So some really great deal there. Looking for projects that will give us tens, hundreds of X's there. Definitely join up today. Links in the video description. We got Tin Top in the house there. What's up, Hexkins? Hey, Tin Top. Hope you're doing well. I'm sure you're doing well with Hex moving right up at the moment. Craig Pick says, hit the like button, everybody. Definitely smash the like button on the way in. And of course, we are about to wrap up the show, but that's all we can say. We got Eden in the house there. Only 100% increase in Titanx, and mining will start again. And DragonX will 10,000x. Yeah, it's going to be interesting about Titanx getting back to mining a yield again, especially given competing ROIs in Hydra and Hyper. So it's going to be fun to see that play out too. But yeah, it will start probably. Some people will be going in there to mine, no doubt, and that yield probably turn positive once we get up probably to 1100 on the chart there. I think it was 4 zeros if I remember rightly. So looking forward to that. Nice comment though. Yeah, but nevertheless, all these protocols, low inflation coming out by the time we get to early October. Titanx ecosystem looking like it's going to absolutely crush it out there and dominate Ethereum and soon multi-chain or omni-chain, as Jake would say. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. That's an hour and 12 minutes. That's the show for today. Catch you again for tomorrow. Of course, we'll have the opening day of the stock market. So we'll talk about that, and we've got some more economic news coming up this week. The last week, really, of September. Normally a red September, but apparently it's turned out to be green. So this year. So maybe that bodes well for October through to December. Get that hyper crypto rally and Bitcoin heading towards 90 to 100K. Wouldn't that be awesome? Imagine the altcoin season kicking in. Man, oh man, that'd be epic. And of course, Trump victory for the election. We'd have freedom and a pro-crypto president. That would be absolutely alpha. And yeah, got the SEC and Gary Gensler. That's sort of the cherry on the top. And of course, the court case insurance policy potentially. So good times out there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoy the rally, Pulsechain rallying, Titanx rallying. It really is exciting times. And we're probably going to do more commentary on X1 chain because that's coming down the line too with all the state-of-the-art tech and that. So we're going to cover Titanx, X chain there coming up as well. So stay tuned. All right. Bye for now. Take care. And I'll catch you again on tomorrow's stream. And of course, if you leave a comment afterwards, I will respond to that too. Yeah, leave comments and let's see what you come up with. All right. Take care. Bye for now.